Too few sparrows. Hominem unius liberi timeo. It's a wonderful phrase attributed to everyone from the ancient Stoic Seneca to the medieval theologian Thomas Aquinas, but it's a fabulous warning. Beware the man of a single book. Beware of the person who has a totalizing view. Don't simply watch out for people who seem to be narrow-minded. Look for the person who thinks they have a single explanation for everything. After all, we must consider the sparrows. In 1958, the communist Chinese government of Mao Zedong declared war on the nation's sparrows, declaring that these birds are the public animals of capitalism, eating up precious seed grain. A massive campaign of noise was launched to keep the birds constantly in flight and dying of exhaustion. In the fields and cities, drums were ceaselessly pounded upon, pots and pans were beaten, fireworks were set off, and before too long, the little birds began to fall from the sky in great numbers. In the capital city, Beijing, sparrows found refuge on the grounds of foreign embassies, which refused to allow the noisy mob's entrance, but the buildings were surrounded by cacophonous groundskeepers who kept up a constant assault. This tactic was so successful that workers at Polish embassy had to use shovels to clear the presence of dead sparrows. China was victorious in its war, and soon the numbers of live birds had reached extinction level. Within 2 years, however, it was noted that the rice harvest had actually decreased. In the absence of sparrows, the insects they had fed upon had multiplied and attacked crops. Plagues of locusts were unchecked and exacerbated a horrible famine that ended up killing tens of millions of Chinese citizens. To revive the sparrow population, the government was forced to import 250,000 birds from the Soviet Union. Perhaps there were too many sparrows, but a single solution was not a solution at all. So often we are people of a single book. We read only a single news source or listen to only one friend before making up our minds. We may think we have considered all the options, but more and more we associate with people who are in mental lockstep. We didn't mean to be this way, but if someone mentioned a complicated moral issue, we can hear ourselves sprouting well-polished talking points. We do less listening and more browbeating other arguments into submission. To be fair, yes, everyone is judging you. You will be too liberal or too conservative, too radical or too permissive, too slow or too rash. You have not profound your integrity to anyone's satisfaction, and we have been talking about it. We all know people on social media whose primary mode of interaction is denouncement. This is not faith-seeking understanding. This is heat-seeking missile of blame. This is a time of intense political polarization and misinformation with few common sources of media and shared discourse. And as the culture wars rage on and we feel the tremors of the ground beneath our feet, we are constantly at risk of becoming monocasual in our accounts of the world and each other. We must recommit to a larger vision of life together without much agreement. If we are going to be the kind of people who build a more equitable world, work toward peace, and fight for justice, there must be room for anger and lament. But how will we know when we're on the right track? We can search for the signs. There will be love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Those are the gifts of the Spirit which remind us that God is truly present. So let's beware of being the man of a single book. Applying one principle, solution, or belief with a singularity that dominates all other considerations is to browbeat other arguments into submission. Let's act boldly and with purpose, checking always to see what's in our hand. If it seems more like a club or a stick, set it down. A blessing for being open to change. Blessed are we, the ones who have just discovered that others might not look at things the way we do, and maybe they have a point, just maybe. Blessed are we, the newly wrong, chuckling over how much it hurts to be chastened a little. Blessed are we, realizing that our fixes for others might actually be mirrors to hold up first for ourselves. And blessed are we, seeing that you, Lord, desire our good. Above all, we give you our worship and praise through our readiness to pivot according to your direction. Our hearts are soft, our ears open. Speak, Lord, of the change you desire to write into our life stories as they unfold. For we are gently becoming aware that knowledge will not be the basis for our understanding of how life goes. Love will. Amen.